Hi guys, this is your warm-up. So we warm up for a bunch of different reasons. The first thing is obviously to get your resources going. Again, your resources are your body, your voice, and through warming those two things, hopefully you're bringing your mind and your emotional and your heart, everything present to do the work. So that's one of the reasons why we warm up. Now a warm-up, of course, is different from a training. And there are obviously other classes for voice work and for physical movement work. If you're interested in those, grab me after class or make an appointment with me and I can talk about those further. But the point of this is a warm-up. This warm-up is going to take about 10 minutes when you get it going quickly and ready. Today I'm going to be breaking it down for you, explaining exactly what I'm doing. This is not meant to be something for you to watch and check out. This is strictly as a training tool so that by the end of this semester you'll be able to warm up yourself if you're going into a play or into a rehearsal, but also that you can lead a warm-up if you need to. Again, this is a super quick, fast warm-up. It's going to be 10 minutes when you're really cooking and working, 5 minutes for the physical, 5 minutes for the vocal, give or take, give or take what your body is feeling for that day. Okay, but if you want more, you can always add more in, but again, that comes in with the other training, with the other classes, okay? So the first thing that we're going to start with is we always start with this nice actor's neutral, right? Where the feet are hip-width apart, the shoulders are relaxed, we're lifting tall, we're grounded into the earth, and we start with the breath. Okay, so the first thing we do is we just take that nice centering moment, and then we breathe and stretch up, and then we exhale. 2 more. Really synchronizing the breath and the body. Now I come back to here, you don't have to. It's just this act of getting the body going through that, okay? So you're doing this nice warming up thing. When we do the warm up, we start from the head and then we go down. So we start with the cervical spine, or what's called the neck spine. We take the chin and we drop it into the chest. Then we take our right ear and we drop it over to the side. So when it goes, it looks kind of like this, yeah? We come back to the center, go left ear to the left shoulder, back to center. Inhale, right ear, right shoulder, and then we go a little further by lifting through, take the chin up to the sky, so we're not crunching the neck, we're lifting tall, yeah? And then we come back through to the center, left ear, left shoulder, lifting tall through the neck spine, back through, and back to center. Now, the third time we go up and over, and we go all the way around. Ooh. And then we go the other side, up and over, and all the way around. You can do another one on each side if you like, or not. It's up to you. Moving out of the neck into the shoulders, we pull the shoulders up, and what this does is squeezes the energy and just gets us to relax and let that go. We do that a total of 3 to 4 times, just getting that going there. Then we start working the rotators, the rotation in the shoulders, so it's kind of like this nice rotation of 1, 2, 3, and 3 to 4 times, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so we've got this start of the body is going, then we're going to start pulling it into the rest of the body. So what you do is you reach tall out of this shoulder bracket and you take this energy and you pull down. So I love it, it's called picking fruit. That was given to me by another former student who called this, but you're reaching tall through the fingers and pulling down through here, so you're getting this nice stretch. And then you pull through this side. I'm going to stay here for just a second because it feels really good. And then you're going to reach and reach. Reach, okay? Moving further into the shoulder bracket, we're going to reach up tall, reach to the back wall. So you see that I got this nice stretch going here. You reach down to the floor, then you reach forward, yeah, and up, and you circle 1, 2, 3, or 4 times, however many you want, whatever you're feeling. Reverse the circle, 3, lift tall, and then just let it go. Left side, we reach up tall, reach to that back wall, reach to the ground, reach it forward, and then move through the shoulder bracket. 1, 2, 3, and 3, 2, 1, or 4, however many you want. Okay, so then we start taking this and going into the spine here. So we got the right and the left, and we're swinging through. So we're not only working the shoulders here, but we're also working this part of the torso. So if you see this from a side angle, you see how I'm opening up and getting the spine nice and warmed up, yeah? Okay, so then we get the 1, 2 all the way through. This is just a fun little thing. We go 1, we go 2, we go up, 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 and switch it through. And you just swing, 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 swing. Okay? So it's just that nice getting this part of the body loosened. From the front, it looks like this. And as you can see, it rotates so that you're coming around this way and you're coming this way with the shoulders on either side of that swing. Okay? Next thing is going into the whole body and really, really stretching it out. So we do this, what we call a C curve, and that's stretching out the back of the body. And you can see that I got this nice C curve going. Then we reverse it, clasping the hands behind and really stretching out the front of the body. So you can see like this full stretch that's going on here versus here, here, and here. Okay? So just from the front, it looks like that to that. Okay? All right? So from that, I just have to take a breath and figure out where I am next. But from there, it's just, we just do little easy jumps in there, somewhere in there, just to get the body and this going in here. Okay? All right, so once you've got the spine and all that kind of stuff in there, you get those little jumps going. You can do that before or after. The idea is that you're working down through the spine. So we've gone through, we've worked the torso, now we're moving into the hips. And the structure of the warm-up takes you through all the primary major joints that are in the area and the musculature and the tendons so you get everything going. So with the hips, you're going to tilt the pelvis forward and back. And what that looks like from the side is you're tipping the pelvis forward. It's getting into that lower lumbar. It's getting into the hip crease here and taking it back, right? I always make the jokes about, you know, the creepy guy at the bar, the hoochie mama, all that kind of stuff. But it's that kind of idea that's there. Now, when you go to the side, you're dropping it in and you're taking it to the side. You're going to feel this nice stretch here and a little stretch over here so you get that little swaying back and forth with the hip creases. You'll see me like grab the hip crease all the time in here because I'm really trying to work this part of the musculature out and really just getting it warmed up. Then we do them in circles so the hips go forward, to the right, to the back, to the left, and forward. You do that a couple times, 3 or 4 times. Boom, boom, and then you take it to the other side, to the back, to the right, and you circle 1, 2, 3, 4. So at this point, you've gotten all this stuff just ready to go. And like I said, when you're cooking, it goes a lot faster. So then what we start to do is get into the grounding of the lower body and getting into the lower extremities. The way that we do this is we start to find our balance and moving into that. So you inhale, pull up through the upper body, ground the lower body, and lift your heels. You find your balance, and you just test that a couple times just to see where your balance is today. Okay? So from there, you've got that nice tall balance. You lift your right leg, and it's nice and flexed, yeah? And it doesn't matter how high it is, it matters how straight that you get it. So you get this nice warming up of the legs and all that kind of stuff going in there, okay? So once you do that, then you circle the ankle. 1, 2, 3, 4, reverse it, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So we're really starting to work that ankle joint and the foot and all that stuff that's in there. You're going to work the balance on the standing leg. So the standing leg is going to start to feel a little bit of a burn. You're going to pull this up on your inhale. And then on your exhale, you're going to reach under and pull it a little higher. So now we're going to get a moving balance where you inhale, you bend both of your knees, and then on your exhale, you're going to straighten both knees and stretch through the ankle to point the foot. So we inhale, we exhale, we inhale, and we exhale. And then you take the hands off and you just kick the balance in just a little bit more. And as you can see, you can really test it. And if that happens, lap it off and move on, because it's just your warm-up, okay? So from here, we're finished out. We're going to lift through the center and stretch out and stretch through. Doesn't matter how high it goes. What matters is the stretch that you get. Feel that nice burn, and then you shake out those extremities. Yeah, working the balance, testing it. Obviously mine is awesome today. Doing that, all that good stuff. From there, you're gonna lift that heel. You're gonna lift your knee with the heel coming up right behind it. And then from here, all you're doing is swinging through so you get that nice release of the hip. So from that front, it looks like that. Right? You can put your hands up for balance. That's all good. Okay? By this point, that standing leg should be nice and burning, right? So that's all good, and that's what we want. You want that blood flow so that the body's getting ready to go in there. Okay? Then we do it on the other side. Interlace your fingers the opposite way so that the weird pinky is out. And then from here, you're nice and tall, and you're just going to bend your knees and lift. This is called plie. So when you do this, you're just finding that balance, lifting, finding it, and lifting. Trying to get it as smooth as possible. Then you take that left foot out, nice and long. Circle 1, 2, 3, 4. Reverse it 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay? Lifting nice and tall. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Let the hands go. And boom. 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 Nice and long, nice and long. Lean, reach, reach, reach. Shake it out. Really, really shaking out your wrists and your fingers and your toes and everything out. And then you're going to lift that knee, swing. Yeah, and that's all good in there. Okay, once we've got all that, then we start putting it together, working the levels from high to low. We do the roll down, which is really important. The roll down starts from the top of your spine. So now we're putting the whole spine into play. Chin to the chest, going down through shoulder blades, working through the thoracic spine, the middle part. And as you can see, if I'm paying attention to my body, my knees will automatically start to bend where I need it, okay? This is not really the time to really work the stretch, all that kind of stuff. It's really about warming up the body. So you want to pay attention to where your body needs it today. So as we start the roll down, you see somewhere in there my knees bend, okay? We're rolling down, and we get all the way down here. Now, if you're on a lovely clean floor, you can put your fingers on the floor. We almost never are over here. So what I like to do is interlace your hands down here when you get down here. Okay? You put your armpit and your kneecap together, right? And it doesn't have to stay glued in, but it's this idea that you have this nice release. You inhale, and then on your exhale, you lift your hips to find the stretch in your hamstring. Now, it's really important that you keep your weight forward. You don't want to lean back because what you're doing is putting pressure in your ACL, your anterior cruciate ligament. So you want to keep that leaning forward, yeah? So you're there. And we just bend and straighten, plie and straighten a couple times, like 4 or 5 times, just on the inhale, getting the breath together. Once you've got that, you tuck the pelvis under, and we roll up, reach it tall, and then reverse it. Roll up. We roll down. Roll up. Down. Roll up. Okay, so when you've gotten that, you're at this point where you're really ready to start putting everything together. I'm going to show you this from a couple of different ways, but this is our sun salutation. This is the yoga portion. We've warmed up enough to do the yoga. So this is where this comes in. Hands come into this heart center. You get this nice lift. Remember all this kind of stuff. We're lifting tall, nice and long. We inhale, we stretch up, and then we swan dive. And the chest leads out on the swan dive. Okay, you fold, you look up halfway, and then you exhale. That right foot comes all the way back. The first time is the right, second time is the left. Lift up, find your balance. Exhale. Inhale. Coming up halfway. Exhale, fold. With the leg back. Inhale, come up. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Reverse your swan dive, lifting up. Exhale through the center. From the side, it looks like this. We'll start on the left. Go until your back starts to curve, and then you can bend your knees just slightly. Inhaling. So at this portion, you're about 5 minutes in when you get going. The body is definitely warm. You can see I got a little sweat going on, and that's what you want. You want to get that just warm enough so that the body's ready to go, so that if you need to do something, you know, you can stretch, you can kick, you can do whatever you need to do to get the body ready. So from there, we move into the voice, okay? Breath carries the voice. So we want to work with the breath again. I just like taking these breaths intermittently. So we breathe in nice and tall, lengthen through the spine, keep breathing in, keep that sense of really opening the breath to the front, to the back, to the sides, highs, lows, really stretching the rib cage, and then letting the breath go. Doing that about 3 or 4 times. Thinking about expanding your rib cage, relaxing the shoulders. Creating that nice effort without tension. And then we start doing the yawn and the sigh, the easy, where we just take it out and do 3 of those, nice and easy. One more. Just gently stretching out the voice as we go, and then you just take a nice big breath in, hum and chew. Getting those vibrations all through your face. All right, at this point we start working through the articulators. The articulators are your lips, your tongue, and your jaw. The lips, the teeth, the tip of the tongue, you might have heard that, okay? So we start with the lips, which are the most exterior of the articulators, okay? So we blow through with the lip trill. And as you can see at this point, I have a lot of breath underneath of me, so you can go for a while, because now we should be synchronizing the breath with the voice, okay? Then we do the little isolations with the lips. We do the infamous grandma, right? You can pop it a couple times. And then it's the goldfish of taking the lips out, yeah, and just stretching out the lips, and you can do little goldfish kisses. And then you go from the grandma to the goldfish a couple times. Then the gopher, which is the upper lip stays out and the bottom lip goes in. So you get that little weird isolation. You don't want to come into the jaw. You really want to think about it being in the lip. And then you can transition from grandma or whatever. And then the opposite is the bulldog, where the upper lip comes in. And then the lower lip comes out. Now this isn't the jaw, it's not that. It's really about the lip. So you see the difference in there? The jaw is still relaxed. We'll get to the jaw, I promise. So you're popping that back and forth. And just waking that up. Then what you're going to do is you're going to add a little voice on top of that. It's called a trill, a lip trill, and it's just blowing through that raspberry sound. We start waking up the range on this one, getting the highs to lows, the pitches, okay? So that's it for the lips. The next thing that we're going to do is the tongue. So you stick the tongue all the way out, and split, and then you pull it all the way in, sticking it out, relaxing in all of this when you're doing it, and pulling it in. So it's really about isolating the tongue. Make the tongue fat and skinny, fat and skinny. I know this looks ridiculous on video, but you can laugh all you want. Don't share it with your friends. Take the tip of your tongue and you trap it underneath the lower teeth. And what you're going to do is stretch out the middle part. And in the South, this is something that we definitely need to do because this is where culturally we have our lazy tongue. You know what I'm saying? Because it gets hot down here and we just don't use it a whole lot. So you know what I'm talking. Okay, so from there, you're stretching out the middle of the tongue and you just bite down a couple times gently just to warm up the tongue and get it going. And then you're just going to pop the tongue out, and it will return back. I promise. I promise it will go back in your mouth. You can add sound. Okay? Then the last little part is the trill, where you take the tongue to the roof of the mouth, and you trap the sides, much like... But you're doing the same thing with your tongue, trapping the sides and taking the air pressure out on the tip of the tongue. We go straight pretty much often into the trill with the voice. Now, why do we warm up the tongue? Because the tongue, as you get to working more and more in theater and you start expanding your range of dialect and speech ability, the tongue gets to be really, really crucial in your articulation, especially if you're interested in any kind of dialect work. Okay, as you can see, I just dropped a couple of sounds and consonants there. But the tongue placement in dialect work is one of the major things that you're going to want to think about. So, you want to get in the habit of being aware of where your tongue is in the roof and the oral cavity of your mouth. Because, for example, if you're going to into something like an Irish accent, you want to pop it up a little bit higher. The tongue would rest higher in your mouth than it would as Americans. Okay, so that's one of the things that why you want to have all of your musculature at your ability. Okay, from there we start warming up the jaw. So we create a little heat going here. And we warm up the face, because as you know, the face is crucial to an actor expressing emotion, being available to respond without tweaking your face or having a muscle spasm. So once you got a nice a little bit of heat there, you can go, turn my hat around here, get all like, okay, and you just warm up the face a little bit, right? That's another reason why I don't like touching the floor so much, yeah? You're getting into the muscles in the face, and then you're going to get behind the jaw and get into this TMJ, the temporomandibular joint, which is the primary jaw of the oral structure, yeah, which is our speech structure. And then from here, you're just going to take all, whatever you have for today, dragging your thumb along here gently, not hard, because you've got all these tender little glands down here. But you're just warming it up, and going to go blah. And you just stretch it out and go, blah. And then it's just nice and easy. Blah. I was rushing through that today, but you have to judge how you're going to do that every day. How much pressure you want to take and what it is, and that's based on you. Okay? And then the next thing, we're moving on to the jaw. You grab the jaw with your pinchers like this, and you're just going to open the jaw back and forth and release it. Kind of like how you release your hand, like this. You can release your wrist. That's what we're working on with the jaw. So from the side, it looks like this. And from the front, it looks like this. And you're really just trying to release all this tension in here. Tension is the enemy, so you want to get rid of it. It's basically wasted energy. Okay? Then you're going to take it into the full structure of the throat and everything, and the way that you do that is clasping the hands, and you're going to use your elbows as your stabilizers, so it looks something like this. From the side. But you can see it's shaking out all this stuff, and that's what you want. From there, the next step, if we were doing vocal work, we would do all the resonators, but for acting one, we're skipping through that. We don't really touch on that. Again, you can take voice. But from there, what we start to do is work on starting to get a little projection. And the way that we get projection is we shake the whole body out and we make some noise. So if you're shaking the body out, you can't be clasping down on your vocal folds. So it's kind of something like this, like what we did earlier, the yawns and the sighs and the shakes, and it's like, so see, it gives you that idea of projection, and it's easy in there. So that it helps you get to that back row. I like that 3 times because I like things in 3s. One more. Okay? All right. We've got the whole body, we've got the voice, the brain should be clicking into gear. Now we're going to test all of that with some fun little things called tongue twisters. You can pick whatever ones you want. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers, a peck of pickled peppers, Peter Piper picked it, Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers, where's the peck of pickled peppers Peter Piper picked? And you want to work through that. If you're teaching it to somebody, you want to break it down into Peter Piper picked a peck. Bite-sized chunks. If you're ever leading a warm-up, you want to make sure that you do it in a way that people can grasp. So you throw it all at one person at one time, or throw all of that at one time at people, and they'll be like, well, oh, dude, not going to happen, especially with some of the more fun ones that we get to. Would we were, I slid a sheet, all those kinds of things, okay? So you do your tongue twisters to get the voice going, to get the articulation, to get the diction, the articulation. Those are the things that you want to get used to doing. Then last, but certainly not least, we introduce ourselves. Why do we introduce ourselves? Because it is building a habit of introducing myself to you so that you know what my name is in order to respond to me. Habitually in our culture, or as people, we've heard our names our whole lives. So we tend to say, hey, what's up, my name is Andy Seibel. And nobody can understand what that is. So especially when you're going into a business interview, which is what an audition is, or if you meet somebody for the very first time and you never know when you're going to meet somebody who can become a friend or a colleague or anything, you want to be able to speak clearly and articulately with your name. So the last thing that we do is introduce ourselves. Hello, my name is Neil David Seibel. And then I'm ready. I'm ready to move in to the workspace. My head is here, my voice is here, my body's ready. I am ready to work. And that's the whole point of a warm-up. So I'll see you guys on stage.